tonight in the worst city in the world in Cleveland. Can the Bulls get another win streak going, or will they be defeated against a team that's killed them times before? We're going to get into all more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the pregame show for today as the Bulls face off against the Cleveland Cavaliers. The team will be missing Evan Mobley and Darius Garland in tonight's game. Max Strus was listed as questionable in the last injury report that I saw. No updates on if Patrick Williams or not is playing in this game as far as I've seen last. We'll end up seeing what happens to that. Like I kind of said in the last game, in the pregame show and the halftime hangout, is that if it's this injury with Pat could keep going on if they just don't allow him to sit a couple of games and rest, right? That's just what it comes down to. Just sit his ass down, rest up, so that way it's not this up and down thing when it comes down to it. So, let's hope that that's the case. If he is ready to go, then he's ready to go. But if it's kind of that back and forth type thing that we've seen before when it comes to it, I just don't want to see that again. I want to see this team allow him some time to rest and let it be what it's going to be in that case. But outside of that, got a lot of things to tune in for tonight to see how the Bulls are going to be able to execute in this game. And, I hold up a lot of hope, right? I have a lot of hope for this team to be able to just take care of business and do what the hell needs to be done when it comes down to it. That's really it. Just do what the hell needs to be done. It shouldn't take all that, right? But this is a game where you're facing off against the Cleveland Cavaliers that are no slouch defensively at all. You cannot come in here and underestimate what the Cleveland Cavaliers can do defensively. They're the sixth best defense in the league. I'm sorry, the sixth best at rebounds in the league. They're the fourth best defense in the league. They're towards the middle of the pack offensively. So that's where the Bulls can taking advantage of some things if their defense is up to par. And this is going to be another game where the rebounds are hugely important, with the Cavs being the sixth best rebounding team in the league. They have to be locked in. We need Vooch. We need DeMar. We need Vooch. We need Drummond to have really big nights on the boards tonight for us to have an impact, right? And so, that allows the Bulls to get more second chance points on the offensive boards. If you rebound the ball defensively well, that keeps them off the offensive boards and gets us some opportunities to get out in transition where this team can be really difficult out. Also, look at the bench and how the bench performs today. We talked about how the Chicago Bulls bench kind of has that high defensive ceiling. They can also rebound. They can get out in transition. They can force turnovers, things like that. It's going to be really important in a game like this, right? We'll see what ends up happening with Max Strus, if he's in there or not. But outside of that, the Cavs have some quality players to come off the bench as far as they're not terrible, but they don't have a whole hell of a lot of big depth, right? If the Bulls can take advantage of that, you can't allow Tristan Thompson to come in and get good minutes against you again, right? You can't allow that. Karis LeVert, he's up and down, really streaky for that team. You don't want to allow him to go off on you either, but he's averaging 16 points per game for that team, so you got to be prepared, man. And that's just what it comes down to with this Bulls team. That's always what it comes down to. You have to be locked in on both sides of the ball, and if they can do that, listen, we could be in the game, man. But we got to take care of business. Billy Donovan, it's going to be a really big game and an important game as well to watch how Billy Donovan adjusts in the second half of this game. Because I'm telling you right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to adjust in the second half, regardless if they have the lead or if they're down going into the second half of this game. They're going to make adjustments in the second half, and it's going to be important for Billy Donovan and this team to be prepared for those adjustments. Too often, we see the Chicago Bulls have really good halves, in the half really strong, and then they come out and get their pants caught at their ankles in the second half of the game because we just aren't a good team at making those adjustments, keying in on those adjustments. We got to get that done. We have to get that done today and be prepared, because when you're facing really good defensive teams, they make those adjustments in the second half, and they're going to keep that confidence up as well. So if we can do those things, force Donovan Mitchell to have an inefficient night. If we can do that, throw a lot at different looks at him defensively, I think it's going to be important, especially with the brand of defense Zach LaVine's playing. That means you can throw a mixture of Io, Zach, and Alex Caruso on Donovan Mitchell for all night basically. And so and even Kobe, with Kobe stepping up defensively at times in switches and things like that. So it's going to be really important how we key in on Donovan Mitchell defensively this game, because listen, if you can force him, especially with no Darius Garland, especially with no Evan Mobley, if you can force him to kind of be inefficient, it's gonna really help the team a lot. So let's hope that that's the case, man. If the Bulls take care of business tonight, this can be a game where they can have some success in for sure. I'm not necessarily just giving them just the flat out chance to have big success, but you got to control those things. And we've seen the Bulls do it before. We've seen them been able to lock in, and if they can do that, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. But let's hope that the Bulls come in and take care of business. Now, Anthony Vargas says the Bulls need to win tonight. I will be happy. I mean, a Bulls win always makes the day better, right? Let's beat this trash ass Cavs team. Let's go, Kobe and Caruso. I mean, listen, they're above 5. We would love to be 7 games above 500, right? And listen, Cleveland is a trash ass city. The team ain't all that trash, bro. I'm kind of excited for this game. Want to see how the Bulls respond to this team. Yeah, big great point there, Tay. Rob's up until December 22nd mark, Boston and OKC have 20 and 18 coaches challenges used, having played 27 and 26 games. The Bulls in the same span have 30 games and only have 8 challenges used, which I find crazy. I mean, listen, not every coach uses challenge. I like, you guys stick on the challenge thing. He's not going to do it. I guess I've just come to the realization, not that you guys are like nagging or anything, but I've just come to the realization Billy Donovan doesn't use his timeouts effectively. He doesn't use challenges all that often. Billy Donovan's one of those people who he uses his challenge when he's pretty goddamn sure he's going to get it. If there's any type of question in that, he doesn't use it. If we stop Donovan Mitchell and force turnovers, because Cleveland is known for not taking care of the ball, especially with Donovan Mitchell at the helm, we could win this game. I mean, yeah, it comes down to the defense, especially, right? And if the Bulls can do that, we'll see, man. I have faith. I really do have faith in this team. Maybe it's too much faith, right? It could be. That could definitely be the thing. But, I know that the Bulls have the ability to take care of business against the Cleveland Cavaliers. But ability doesn't always mean that you do it, right? So that's the thing that we got to look at with this team is like, yeah, you have the ability to take care of business, but will you take care of business? And that's where the Bulls kind of falter at sometimes. The Cleveland Cavaliers, to your point, Shay, do average 13 turnovers per game. That's right around the lower middle of the NBA. So, that is something that the Bulls can try to look to take advantage of in this game for sure there, brother. Maurice Rupert in the building says, we got to bounce back defensively, keep our foot on the gas, and close out this game strong. But I see this being an easy win. You shouldn't. I don't know where you're getting this as being an easy win at. I don't see it that way. I mean, you definitely. I would hope that if you're right, then you're right, brother. Like, no offense there, but like at this point, with the way that the Bulls don't have an ability to close out games, there's nothing you can say being an easy win for the Bulls. The Cleveland Cavaliers have won 4 in a row. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They're one of the better defensive teams in the league. They have the ability to light it up. They have a player in Donovan Mitchell who can get hot and a player in Max Strus who can get hot from 3. I don't know where this comes in as an easy game for the Bulls, but it's definitely a game that they can win if they play well. Hey, Rob, stop blaming the rest for inconsistent play from the Bulls. End of story. I don't even know where that came from. C-Red, let's get some positivity in here. Yeah, for sure. Walter in the building says, I honestly want to see Zach back on the bench, but that's not going to happen because we need to shop him. Listen, here's the thing. I go back and forth on this, right? Like, it's January 15th. We have 3 weeks left into the trade deadline. I mean, I guess, like, if you do want to shop him, this is the time to hope that he's going to keep playing well and we keep winning over that stretch, right? Sydney says, a part of me wonders if Zach will hold out the rest of the season to see how the team plays. The players know that they are playing better and dug themselves out a hole. I know that that's wishful thinking. Like I said before, I understand everybody who has hopes that Zach LaVine is going to stay here in Chicago, that Zach LaVine is going to see that this team is winning. He's going to want to stay here. He's going to want to rock with this team and see it through. But everything we're hearing says the exact opposite. What's good, Haize? Let's get this win against the Cavs. Hope you had a good day. Mine was fucking cold as hell, negative 35 Celsius. Well, it was 9 degrees here today. 9 degrees here today. I don't know how that converts to Celsius. I'm not that smart, not that intelligent to convert that in my head, but it was 9 degrees here. You do the math. But with that said, let's go ahead and keep it pushing. Joe the Blacksmith in the building says, I honestly stopped caring about what happens with Zach. I just want to see him play the right way while he's on our team. And that's a fair assessment to have. That's a fair thing to want to see, right? It's like at this point, like me, I've come to the realization that Zach's probably going to be moved. Whenever that is, I don't care. I just, at some point, it's happening. It's good. This thing is going to end in a divorce. And so whenever it happens, it happens. I just hope that they get a good deal, a good enough deal to where they get some talent back that can help this current team. Because keep in mind, we are still trying to win basketball games. Quentin says, what's up? Just dropping in the show. Let's go, Bulls. Appreciate you, brother. Daniel Barry, listen, I got a bone to pick with you, Daniel, because you know I have spies everywhere. So I see you over in CHGO post-game show. So I'm only good enough for the pregame show. You go over there for the post-game show. Let me find out you was dropping super chats too. I got spies. I'm just playing, Daniel. Thank you for the support. As always, my brother, I'm glad to have you here, man. I just got to throw some fun at you, bro. Got to throw some fun at you. Rulio says, Haize, what's going on? The drip on point. This is a big game for the Bulls, especially since we have Zach back in the fold. Yeah, I mean, listen, this is a game where the Bulls can definitely take care of business. Like I said, this is not a game where I'm going to pick the Bulls or say it's easy or anything like that. But if we execute the way that we've seen this team execute before, it's definitely a winnable game, but they got to fight. They got to compete hard. This is another game that you're coming into, and it's going to be a playoff-style atmosphere. That's what it's going to be. Listen, ain't nothing to do in Cleveland other than get high, drink, and watch sports. That's it. It's a terrible city. There's an overcast in it of death and despair. But their fans turn out when they're winning. When the Cleveland Cavaliers are winning, their fans turn out. When it's not, people forget the Cavs exist in that city. But at the end of the day, you're going into hostile territory, and this is a team that's winning, and their fans are going to show up and be loud. Cavs 22-15, so far from a dead horse from years ago, will be a tough game, especially with Donovan Mitchell playing. Absolutely agree with you. Absolutely agree with you on that one. Terry says, I believe if we stick to the system, split Vooch, Andre's time 50-50, I think we should just tweak the lineup, and I think we'll do better than making a big trade where we won't get equal value back, where you never get equal value. It's very rare that teams get equal value. But listen, I get it, and I'm not denying your logic, but you got to remember, this isn't just about the team trying to trade a player for logic reasons. Zach wants to go, and that's a big part of it. That's a big part of it as well. You got to keep that factor in. The hoodie and hat is fire. Thank you. It's nice. It's nice. You know what's funny enough? Funny enough, I got this hoodie about a year before I got this hat. I didn't even know they made a hat to go with this hoodie. So I had this hoodie. I was wearing just my regular all-black Chicago Bulls hat, and one day I was on Culture Kings looking for something else. I was like, wait a second, that hat goes with my hoodie. And I snatched it up. So that I say that to say, always know that there's probably a hat to match whatever you got out there. You just got to search for it. I didn't even think that they would have a hat with this logo on it. But so it is what it is. Another hat. Thank you for that, Alex. I appreciate you. Leandre says, Leandre, I said that right. Win for Dr. King. Hey, shout out to you, brother. I know Gordon Hayward was on the list of buyout market, but at this stage of his career, I see him going to a contender like back to Boston, Miami, Clippers, even Bucks. Who are the other people on the list? You got to go to the episode. I did a whole episode over on NBA Central of players that could be bought out. So there you go. I'm not going to give you free content. It's free anyway, but go and subscribe to NBA Central. Get that content. We got you, brother. We got you. Max Strus, they officially announced Max Strus isn't playing. All right, cool. Let's go Bulls, and also hope you had a good day, Haize. Thank you, Bulls Isham. I appreciate that, and I had a pretty damn good day. Damn good day. Me and the kids chilled. I got to play some Spider-Man 2 today. I vacuum and shampooed my carpets. Drunk some Hennessy Pure White, some tequila and pineapple. I've been living life, bro. Literally today has been a very chill day, and I was gonna do some work. Quentin can attest. I was gonna come up with like a stream to do with like a bunch of other Chicago Bulls content creators, and I was like, you know what? Why am I always trying to add extra work on days off? I just chilled. V.O. Walker in the building says, I remember the last time we thought we should beat Cleveland. We got our ass kicked. Hopefully we go in there focus. Exactly. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights treating Haize like a $2 304, but treat CHGO like it's exactly. I be seeing a lot of y'all over in CHGO dropping shit. Like it is what it is. Let's go Bulls and hope you had a good day. Haize, you already said that, Bulls, Isham, but I appreciate you, brother, especially for saying it twice. Terry Bayless says, dude, where you find this Bulls gear? I swear I don't see half the stuff you wear when I'm searching. Salute. I told you, I get my stuff from primarily like 4 or 5 places. It's Fanatics, Lids, Culture Kings, Clark Street Sports. I get a lot of stuff from as well. And then a little odds and ends. Oh, Pro Standard. I get a lot of stuff from Pro Standard too. That's about it. V.O. Walker says, and what's good to the best damn Chicago Bulls content creator in the world? The world, Craig. Not just the city, the world. I appreciate that, bro. I'm out here trying. I'm trying my best, man. My only hope for Zach LaVine is I hope he gets up offer this team soon. I don't want anyone on this team who doesn't want to be a Chicago Bull. I mean, listen, and that's a fair statement and a view to have on it, right? Like, I get it. And Zach LaVine, and I hate that it's gone also like really left where people try to act like Zach LaVine still isn't talented, right? Like it's okay to just say, I kind of want Zach LaVine off my team. But it's also okay to realize that he still has talent. He definitely is a talented player. What's up, Haize? What's going on, little famo in the building? Glad to have you in here, brother. DeAndre says, if we are trading Zach, shouldn't we also trade DeMar and see what we have with these young players? It depends, man. Like I said, it doesn't go hand in hand. 2 things can be true at the same time, and 1 can be true at the same time. But when it comes down to it, you're trading Zach because Zach wants to leave. You're not trading. I think the mindset that you have for that is like, if we were trying to just go all young, that's not necessarily what the Bulls want. The Bulls came in and is ready to completely double down on continuity yet again, right? But questions present themselves. Zach wants to go. DeMar you haven't reached a contract extension with. So at that point in time, you got to try to get something back if you can, right? Being halfway through the season, do you think the Bulls could avoid the play-in, or is it unlikely? I mean, listen, the Bulls right now, with the pace that they've been playing since I think it's like mid-December, they're technically playing with the pace of a 51-win team. The problem is we started off the first 19 games of the season playing with the pace of a 24-win team. So that's going to even out. Right now, the Bulls are projected to finish around 41-41 with the way that they've been playing here lately. Now, that can rise again if this team just keeps it going, right, and keeps playing even better. But I think ultimately the play-in is probably likely for the Chicago Bulls team, right? Again, stuff's tight. But last year, for example, to avoid the play-in, you had to win 45 games last season to avoid the play-in. So right now, the Chicago Bulls are the 9th seed. We hold a 1.5 game advantage that we're right now also 5 games behind the 6th seed, which would help us avoid the play-in tournament. Now, the problem with that is the teams that are above the Bulls that high are playing really good right now. The Indiana Pacers are 8-2 over the last 10. They're the 6th seed. The 5 seeds in the Miami Heat are 6-4. A lot of teams expect them to make a trade. So, but the teams that are still in the play-in area but above the Bulls, you have the New York Knicks as the 7th seed. Right now, they're 4.5 games above the Bulls. That's very catchable. And then you have the Orlando Magic right now, who are 3.5 games above the Chicago Bulls at the 8th seed. So the Bulls would have to not only play about 55 win percentage basketball the rest of the way through, but they would also have to hope that one of those teams from the Miami Heat, the Indiana Pacers, or the Cleveland Cavaliers really hit a nosedive. And I don't necessarily expect those teams to do that, barring any major injury or anything like that. So I think more likely than not, play-in is the scenario for the Chicago Bulls, but you never know. The odds are they're going to have to go through the play-in. But hey, odds aren't 100%. So you'll see what happens with that. I definitely want a W, so I will take any edge, but I want to see the Bulls beat a healthy Heat team. Go Bulls, see red. I feel you on that. But you can only beat who's in front of you. Only beat who's in front of you. Not gonna lie, zero trade value talk from Windhorse the last few days reminds me how much I hate the win back. Hey, I mean, listen, we already flamed Brian Windhorse. I'm gonna let it go. A DeMar trade would sting at first, and the young cats would have to step up. DeMar's our bucket getter. We need a bucket. He can go get it any spot, any situation. Well, not any situation, not any spot, because we've seen him fail here lately. But that is his role. That is definitely his role on this team. Black Prophet says, Haize, I watched when you got together over there on CHGO. I watched all of you guys' content. I think the Bulls will keep Zach because they will not get enough for him. Look for the trade in the offseason. See, that's the thing. I don't think that they get more for him in the offseason. It's a weak draft. I don't think that like anybody's. This is not a draft where I think a lot of teams are necessarily holding on to the draft picks for the teams that can trade the draft picks this year. So I don't know if you get a lot more now. The thing is, to Black Prophet's point is, if you're a team that can't trade your 2024 first round pick right now, the day of the draft, you can change it, right? Because then everything that's looked at as a draft day trade, the team still selects their own draft pick, but then it's factored in after the fact. So that could open up some more scenarios because if you're, I don't know, I'm just throwing out a team, for example. Let's say the Miami Heat can't trade their 2024 pick by this trade deadline. They can trade it at the draft. So maybe that's another asset that they look to use. And it's another year off Zach LaVine's contract. So that's definitely a possibility. I don't know how likely it is, but it's definitely a possibility. Definitely a possibility. Shay says, I know this is off topic, but I don't see why the Utah Jazz are still shopping any of their players because when you think, here it goes with this, when you think about it, it's like Matt Pat, who's like, it's just a theory. You think are in much better position than the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I mean, but what does that have to do with it? Like every team is their own thing. Like, no, the Utah Jazz aren't looking and saying, hey, man, we can't trade our players because, hey, man, that Lakers team, we're better than them at least. That's a loser's mentality. You're trying to be better. You're trying to raise the ceiling of your team the most they can. Nobody's looking at it and say, hey, well, the Lakers and Golden State Warriors, they aren't looking to trade anybody. We're better than them, so we shouldn't look to trade anybody. That's not how it works, Shay. That's not how it works, bro. Am I the only one that seems like Patrick Williams' production fell off since Zach came back? Well, you got to keep in mind, it also coincided with him he's only played 2 games since Zach LaVine's been back, but it also coincided with him having an injury. So, you could say that it's Zach, but it's probably more likely the injury. Let's hope that that's the case. I think DeMar is more of a priority to trade than LaVine. DeMar hasn't agreed to a new contract so far. Zach is under contract regardless if he wants to leave. The Bulls hold all the cards with LaVine. They don't hold all the cards necessarily. Yeah, they can hold on to him and make him play out his contract. But the fact of the matter is, the more that teams know that Zach LaVine wants out of there, the less you're going to get back in the trade. It just is. And as far as DeMar DeRozan, I get where you're getting at is that he should be a trade priority, but you got to keep in mind, maybe cap space is the thing that you want in that. The Bulls may be fully ready to let DeMar DeRozan walk for nothing because then they get some cap flexibility. And keep in mind, as long as you're Jerry Reinsdorf own team, best believe they're looking at someone at the bottom dollar. That's all I can say on that one. So you got to keep those things in mind as well. And I'm not saying your logic is off, but this team defies logic, right? Your logic is sound. The way that you're feeling about it is absolutely 100%. But the problem is that we have an ownership group that looks at Logic and says, Logic? What's that? A rapper? They don't give a damn about Logic. They don't care. Main reason I want Zach gone is for cap space. That contract is ridiculous. I mean, that contract is tough. What the hell are my dogs barking like crazy for? Hold on, y'all. I got to check my Ring camera, make sure ain't nobody got to get that work real quick because the dogs are barking like crazy. My dogs usually don't. Yep. Who's at my door? Is Haize going to have to fuck a nigga up? Oh, never mind. It's just the Amazon guy. Sorry. I thought I was about to have to pull out that thing. Never mind. Speaking of Matt Pack, isn't he retiring from YouTube? Yes, he did retire from YouTube. I don't know how you keep finding fly ass Bulls gear. It finds me, baby. It finds me, man. When pimps do their thing, it just comes out. It finds me. No, I'm just playing. Hey, listen. There's not a piece of Bulls gear usually that I haven't looked at, seen, or I can't get if I really wanted to. So Jimbo says, I love this team. We were really growing. Ayo and Kobe going to be real nice next year. Hey, let's hope that that's the case. Kobe's really, really growing really well right now. sometimes I wonder, would it be so bad to let players walk for nothing? Optimistically, we could use the money to sign someone with that money that would fit best. It's not Amazon. Well, keep in mind too. So while I understand your logic, you guys know I like to talk about everything from both sides. Is that you also you lose some cap flexibility because keep in mind, while the salary cap grows, your players' contracts are also growing. So if DeMar DeRozan's $20 million, it doesn't convert necessarily to just $20 million of money you could just spend out on someone else. That's not the way it works. So DeMar's contract is what, $22, $23 million. So it doesn't necessarily mean that DeMar walks away. Now let's go get somebody for $23 million. I believe if DeMar walks and with Patrick Williams' cap hold, I believe we can have if we I think it's like $34 million in cap space next year if we don't sign anybody else. Let me look it up real quick because I don't like giving you guys false information. I just want to make sure I'm right on this one before I speak on this. Give me 1 second. Okay. So salary cap floor, current floor, available at practical. Okay, so there it goes. If the Chicago Bulls do not re-sign DeMar DeRozan, and depending on right now, it would be just Patrick Williams' cap hold, the Bulls would have practical cap space of $17.1 million. So that's what I mean. You're not getting that one for one. Now, but you're $38 million below the luxury tax, which means you can sign players up to $17 million of true cap space. Then you can use your exceptions to go, your mid-level exceptions to go above that to still get another player and still be below that the luxury tax. So that's what Bulls are working with next season. Now, that's if they don't file like a career-ending injury exception for Lonzo Ball. If they do that, add that $21 million back on that contract. Let's say something crazy happens. They renounce the rights of Patrick Williams. That cap hold then comes off. You got a little bit more space that way. So that's how it works. That's how it works. It's just the Amazon. Hey, listen. You come up to my door, you gotta be ready. Haize was gonna end the Amazon dude. Hey, he was definitely gonna be like, hey man, I'm just doing my job, bro. Like, it is what it is. Struggling Lakers and G State teams should not be the benchmark for any team. Sports is a process and goes to progress 500 playoffs and then make a deep run in the playoffs. Next is championship. Facts. What are you talking about, Hairline Jones? False information. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, people put dumb shit out there. Like, you look like Vic Mensa from Tamu, bro. Like, fix your life, bro. Fix your life. Give us Cam Reddish instead of give us Cam. No, keep Cam. No. What are we talking about? I ain't gonna lie. Look at Keldon Johnson, the other. What are you doing? Look at Keldon Johnson the other night, made me hope that there's a way we could possibly get him. He was cooking. They not giving him up, bro. They not giving him up, man. Ammo in the building says, "Sup, what's going on, Ammo? Glad to have you in here, brother." But yeah, so and overall, when it comes down to it, with looking at this whole the trade scenarios and things that got to happen, we'll see what ends up happening with that. Are the Bulls in on Pascal Siakam? Well, the thing is I don't know if the Bulls, because keep in mind the last we heard, which doesn't mean that it can't change, it could have definitely changed, is that the Toronto Raptors wanted 2 first-round picks back for Pascal Siakam. The Bulls aren't looking to give up first-round picks in any trade. So we'll have to see with that. I don't necessarily see them being in on Zach LaVine either. So, and to make a deal work around DeMar, I don't see that either. So I don't know, but you never know. Sometimes teams are both left with pieces that they don't want, and maybe they'll pull the trigger. Maybe the Bulls are waiting to see what happens with DeMar's contract situation. Also, the Bulls should talk to and tell them they cannot trade him until the offseason. I mean, listen, that's woulda, coulda, shoulda at that one. OTR says, what would you do with Javon Carter if the power was in your hands? I mean, nothing. Just don't play him. Nobody's going to trade for Javon Carter unless he's included as an add-on in a much larger deal. But nobody's trying to trade for Javon Carter. Nobody. Do you see P. Will here long term? It kind of feels like his state with the Bulls is kind of up in here. No, listen, I tell you this right now, but let me finish reading. Right now, with the inconsistent play minutes restrictions, he's injured, but it feels strange. I'm telling you right now, there's no way that the Chicago Bulls aren't giving Patrick Williams a contract extension this offseason. Zero. Zero. Unless like something crazy happens, like something astronomical happens. But otherwise, Patrick Williams will be back in the Chicago Bulls uniform next season, for better or for worse, however you take that. But yeah. Cash Telly says, shout out to from Cali. Let's go Bulls. Appreciate you, fam. Definitely appreciate you. Could Doc Rivers get more out of this? No. Doc Rivers is Black Billy Donovan. Like go and look at the fans of teams that Doc Rivers has been on. They literally feel the same way about him that we have felt about Billy Donovan. Same exact way. So, no. What's good, little bro? I'd rather talk about my Bulls getting their shit together. I like how Zach looks. Love what I see. He's a Bull, so let's focus on that. No, we're going to focus on the reality. And the reality of it is Zach LaVine's up out of here sooner or later. Who do you think could realistically fit with our team without Zach and DeMar staying under the salary cap, of course? Free agent. I don't have free agent list in front of me. That'll get closer to the offseason. I don't have that right now. I don't even, outside of a few people, I don't even know who's 100% on the free agent market right now. I look at that as we get closer to that time period. I just hope that when Patrick Williams comes back, they continue to play him because he looks like he's turning the corner. I was down on him, but he's been playing better. Yeah, when he's healthy, he's definitely been playing better. Doc gets the most out of his teams in the playoffs. I gotta disagree with that. But I mean, hey, your opinion is your opinion. I'm not here to say which one's right or wrong. I just don't agree with that at all. Haize, we already have an Billy D. Bulls fans need to understand that P. Will is going to be a role player, nothing more. It's too early to say that. Humble Servant says, what is up, Haize? Sports Bar just lost a close colleague and a friend found dead at work. And in the business that I'm in, this occasionally happens, but hurts when you see Haize, your show makes me smile. Bro, first of all, I'm sorry to hear that. Secondly, what line of work are you in where people are dying at work? Like, that's personal. But hey, I pray to you, pray to his family. I'm sorry that you had to go through that. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like I said, prayers up, brother. Prayers up, man. Haize, will there be Locked on Bulls tonight or tomorrow? Yes, there will be Locked on Bulls tonight after the game. Shout out to CEO Haize, truly a workaholic. Respect. Thank you for that. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily workaholic. I just want to be the best that I can be. That's it. Sydney says, when you review the predictions, I see the Bulls are plus and then Cavs are negatives. What exactly does that mean? Just wonder. Oh, I don't do betting. I have no idea. I think like plus, if you're favored, you're giving up points. So the team that's actually favored to win has the negative points, and the team that's the underdog has the plus points. I think I don't bet. So somebody who's in the chat that bets, correct me if you're wrong. I love my money too much to bet, so I don't bet. But somebody get you right on that one. Doc had an MVP caliber player on his team and didn't make it to the ECF, who also never took the Clippers to the Washington Capitals finals. Great point there. Definitely great point there. Pat Will plays better when either Zach or DeMar are out for several games. He's better without one of them playing. I mean, hey, I used to argue that, but the data is the data. And I think there is something to that. I haven't seen it. But I think that the data probably backs that up. Just like Megan Thee Stallion. Hey, Sports Bar, her White Hennessy definitely gets one shot of Blatton, and that's funny. Listen. My tequila and my Hennessy is something that I hold very true to my heart, and my bourbon as well. What are you doing, bruh? Like, I got this 140-pound dog now, and this dude just like he moves around like he thinks he's a poodle. I swear to God, if you knock over my camera, it's gonna be me and you, my guy. What are you doing? There's nothing over there. Come on. Come back. Now you're stuck. I'm not picking your big ass up. I'm just letting you know that right now. I'm not picking your big ass up. You found out a way to get over there. You better find a way to get back. Mm-mm. Trust me, don't bet on the Bulls. It's not a good idea. That's hilarious. Haize, I know Bulls fans say damn near every trade deadline and offseason, but could the Bulls? No. Derrick Rose is not coming back to the Chicago Bulls. He's not coming back to the Chicago Bulls. He's not. It's not happening. I wouldn't say Pat is better with when DeMar and Zach are out. It's just that when those two ball dominant players are out, he's of course going to have a higher usage rate and have the balls in his hands more. Well, that's the thing though. OTR, he didn't necessarily have a higher usage rate. I believe his usage rate stayed around the same. I'd have to go back and look, but I think it's more opportunities. It's more opportunities. Is that your Akita pup? Yes, that is my Akita, and yeah, he's a big boy. He's a big boy. He's a big boy. Haize, I'm tired of seeing feeds that Brian Windhorse has the Lakers involved with trading for every team, every star. Listen, I mean, that's the narrative. Everything's going to do that. Everything's going to do that. OTR, Derrick Rose at the most, as things go on, is probably going to sign one of those one-day contracts to retire a Bull like Luol Deng did, but don't bet on seeing Derrick Rose back playing in the Chicago Bulls uniform. Just don't bet on seeing that. Now, I will say this. The Memphis Grizzlies, their season is damn near in the tank. Maybe there's a chance that you can get him. He's only on a $3.3 million contract. Maybe they'll take. I don't like doing that. I don't like doing it if it feels like clickbait content to me. So I don't like doing it. But maybe. I just don't see it likely. Don't see it likely happening. That's all. But yeah, who do you got? What do you guys think about this game? Who do you think? You guys know I like to throw out my questions. Who leads the Chicago Bulls in scoring tonight against the Cleveland Cavaliers? Let me know what you guys are thinking on that down below. Black Prophet says Memphis' entire backcourt is injured now. Yep. That would not work. Surprisingly enough, Javon Carter makes twice as much as Derrick Rose. So, and like I said, they're not sending more assets. They're not just trying to gift Derrick Rose to the Chicago Bulls. Javon Carter makes twice as much. Just think about that. Think about that. You scared the holy shit out of me, bro. What's up?
Where's my candy watermelon?
Come here.
Where's my candy watermelon?
You didn't ask? I didn't get you. I just got you regular Sour Patch Kids.
Can I have? I'm hungry.
Yeah, they're so if you go upstairs in the kitchen, so look, so you got the island in the kitchen, right? So if you turn to the left, it's on the side over here in front of the crock pot.
What is crock pot?
Oh my Jesus.
Sorry.
So you'll see onions on the shelf. Below that, the candy's right there. It's in a bag.
Sour Patch Kids?
Yeah, Sour Patch Kids.
Okay.
All right, love you. Hey, love you.
Love you too.
All right.
I said that.
If he did come back, you know damn well Jerry would milk them jersey sales for as much as possible on the Derrick Rose. Oh, absolutely. Yo, son, what up? That's funny. There goes my guy. Ammo says Spider dropping. He better not drop 71 again. That be better than goddamn well not drop 71. I'll tell you that much. The young king with the fire Spider-Man PJs. He loves those pajamas. He literally, I have to hide him from him sometimes so he doesn't try to wear them all the goddamn time. Like, come on, man. What are we doing here? Kobe gonna cook. He'll be our leading scorer tonight. I mean, we'll see. OTR says Drum needs minutes this game. Vooch ain't doing shit against Evan Mobley. Mobley's out this game. So yeah, he's not gonna do shit against Evan Mobley because Evan Mobley ain't playing. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Vooch ain't gonna do shit against Evan Mobley because guess what? Evan Mobley ain't coming back to about March. So you're right, absolutely right. He ain't doing shit against Evan Mobley. Kobe ain't having big games as long as Billy is the head coach. He's had big. What are you talking about? What like? Are you smoking dope? How much did you spend on your dope? Because I don't know. Like starters are the same: Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Alex Caruso, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic. Those are your starting five for the day. Your son tall. He is tall for his age. He's 10 and he's 5'1". He's tall. He's tall. Haize, what jersey themes would you bring back? Like as Patrick's Day, me, I'd bring back Hispanic Heritage Bulls. The Hispanic Heritage Bulls jerseys were fire. The St. Patty Bulls days were fire as well. Not the all green ones that look like Celtics jerseys, but the ones that had the green and red. I like those a lot. I know the Christmas colors, but I like those a lot. Dan Miles says, not trying to say I'm superstitious, but Spider about to do things to us. First of all, I don't need to know about your fantasies, brother. I don't need to know that you envision Donovan Mitchell doing some things to you. That's a little weird, bro. Like that's a bit strange. But hey, to each their own. I mean, I don't kink shame here. If you want Spider to do some things to you, I mean, hey, that's wild. That is wild. Bring back the black and red pinch. Oh, listen, I've said that for no. What do you mean? We still have those jerseys. We've worn them a couple of times. No, we've had the white. You're right, but no, I want to see. I want to see the red jerseys with the black pinstripes. I just want to see that. That's what I want to see. Do you think we can trade for Jeremy Grant? Why would you want to? Why would you want to trade for Jeremy Grant? Walk off 50 from Zach tonight and traded by tomorrow. If Zach LaVine scores 50 points tonight, he may be traded by tomorrow. That may very well happen. Anyone else missed the sleeve? Sleeve jerseys. That was such a weird era of basketball, man. Those sleeve jerseys were crazy. Ayo going for 17, Kobe going for 20 with Zach 25 and Debo going for 30 in the flow of the game. Interesting. I've never seen you. I don't wear jerseys. That's just not something that I wear. I don't wear jerseys. Not since high school. I don't wear jerseys. So I have jerseys. I collect jerseys, but I don't wear jerseys. That's not what you'll see me do. The Christmas sleeve ones were slept on. I'm good on that. Yeah, smoking big rocks. That's hilarious. Whoa, pause. Haize, do you have a favorite city jersey from the last few seasons? Yeah, what do we have gray city edition jerseys? I'm thinking about something else. Let me see if I can find the jerseys that I'm talking about. Ooh, this isn't even an actual jersey, but this looks fire. But those the ones that we had with blue lettering on it, I like that. Not the all blue ones, but the white ones that had the blue lettering. I love those ones. Those are probably my favorite ones so far. Let's bring up all the Chicago Bulls City Edition jerseys. What just happened? Why did you not take it? What are we talking about? Bro, what are you doing? City Edition through the years. Here we go. Yeah, the white one that had the light blue trim and the red Chicago lettering. That's my favorite. That's definitely been my favorite City Edition jerseys by far. Yeah, by far. Now there's no contest on that. No contest on that at all. With my least favorite probably being last year's was probably my least favorite. Hey, hairline, don't think you like what you talking about that ESPN Disney shit. Like, what are you talking about? You still got to answer that. Don't be dropping nothing else until you answer that. How about that? I miss the City Edition uniform from last season and the season before that. Those two are a statement uniform, are the some of the best of all time. I didn't really care for last season's jersey. The uniform as a whole was cool. I wish they didn't go with the rust red though, but hey, it is what it is. They need to make the pinstripe white. Ooh, white with red pinstripes. I can get behind that. I can get behind that. I could definitely get behind that. Leandre, I got to disagree with you here. Patrick Williams is fine at the forward. Like the modern day forwards are all played the same. There's nothing stylistically different with how Billy Donovan would use Patrick Williams in either position. And keep in mind, I'm talking about specifically Billy Donovan's system. And as long as he's the coach, it doesn't matter. He's going to be used the same way. If the Bulls were going to trade Zach, the player that I wanted them to get was OG, but now I'm looking at Buddy Hield and Brown from Indiana. I like I said before, I don't know if we have the budget for Buddy Hield's dentist. I don't know. That may send us into the luxury tax. That may send us into the luxury tax. I didn't get the first City Edition jersey. My biggest regret as a collector. Fact, same. So the first City Edition, so that was before I understood that the City Edition jerseys were going to change every single year. Because in my mind, I was like, bet I'll get it next season. I can't remember what it was. I was like, I'll get it next season. And then I was like, wait, what? I gotta find. I know I could find it. Matter of fact, I know where I could find it. Yeah, don't worry about it. Jimbo says, am I crazy for thinking this team can be a dark horse in the playoff and surprise people? What do you mean by dark horse? You got to explain that a little bit more. Do you mean dark horse for what exactly? Do you think the Bulls could use another veteran all-star player and still have young talent? You say that like we could just go walk into Walmart and be like, hey, let me get one of them vet all-stars, bro. Yeah, go ahead and bring that over here. What? And see, yeah, I thought I'd get it next year too. Like, yeah, so now that I understand that they're literally switching it, like, I don't think they announced that when they first started doing the whole City Edition thing. I don't think they said, like, literally, we're changing them every single year. So, it is what it is. No way in hell this Bulls team is making a Hail Mary Atlanta Hawks playoff run. I mean, hey, most people wouldn't have thought the Atlanta Hawks were going to do it either. I don't feel like they will, but hey, you never know. Did Io get hurt at all smashing into the stanchion last game? He left the game, right? No, he actually said that he could have got back. He could have went back in the game, but they just played it safe. So no, I expect him to be fine in this game today. So, but all right, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and get ready to wrap it up. We're about 10 minutes away from game time, roughly. Thank you guys for tuning in to another pregame show. I appreciate you guys so much for everything that you guys do and how you guys show up every single stream, man. I'll be back at halftime. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel. Still have our goal of getting to 20,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Tall order, but I think we can do it. You guys got to show up. I love you guys. Go Bulls. See red, y'all. Peace.